Welcome in here, ladies and gentlemen, tonight on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Back in action Thursday, it's the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series here for round number 3 of the season. So far this season, we've seen great short track racing action, something everybody has come kind of accustomed to when we come here to visit the Red Light Racing Series, especially in their short track racing program. Their Scrambler Series just finished up last Monday night here in a championship for the driver of the 42 of Max Terriel. He also has a win right here on the SK side of things. Well, last year that is anyway, race fans. Last year he wound up winning 6 races on the season. This year he has been held winless by a couple of rookies. Brian Hacker, who is here tonight, he is second on the speed charts currently right now. He has 1 win on the season. Also, AJ Rogers last week squeaked out a nail biter at the end. He is here this week, and he is sitting currently 6th on the speed chart. So a couple of the strong rookie candidates taking down the wily veteran of Max Terriel here tonight. See if he can rebound and park himself into victory lane. 18 drivers, though, have found their way here to the Oxford Plain. Now, as you can see, it's going to be a tough one out here tonight. Pit Road is a little bit different and unique. Yes, it is onto the infield like a lot of other oval tracks throughout the country and the world. But then there's that back portion here. If anybody has to pit off that back portion, well, it's going to be absolutely crazy. Probably not going to see any time for tires here tonight, but qualifying is looking like it is about to start to take place. It's going to be 5 minutes or 2 laps for a lot of these drivers. Question being, who will be one of the first drivers out onto the raceway? Let's take a look. Here it is. Driver of the 83 Hoosier Machine north of the border. He goes by TJ McGuire. He is out here tonight driving the 83 Hoosier Machine. And it is, I believe, the second time we have seen TJ here this season so far. Last time we saw him, it was at Lanier for the season opener where he finished 9th overall. Did complete all 100 laps. He will be one of the first drivers onto the board here tonight. So let's take a quick look and see where he's going to slot in. It's going to be a 14.85. It was good enough for the pole for just a second. And then the number 20 here of Josh Schlatt's. He comes out now sideways. Schlatt's has the top time here in our qualifying session. He'll come across the start-finish line. He'll complete lap number 2. And it's going to be just a little bit slower. Lap number 2, Coneman comes through there a little bit slower. Here is the driver out of South Glen Falls, New York. He drives the 96. Part of the Old Shed Brigade. Al Smith Jr. do quick time out there. He goes quick time with a 14.75 second. And, well, it wasn't very long last because here's the driver of the number 11 out of the Smith Racing Inc. stables, Brian Hacker, your point standings leader coming into tonight. He goes with a 14.75 second lap on lap number 1. Dalton Williamson, the glove box racer, number 1 of Dalton Williamson. He goes currently now onto our speed charts. He is the 3rd quickest driver here tonight. There it is on the left-hand side. You get to see everybody's quick time and see where they are slotted in here this evening. Right now, 11 drivers have taken time, as Williamson was that 11th driver. Here is the driver out of the racing school. It's the 10B of Dan Butler. He is out here tonight, trying to see where he can lock himself in. Dan told me last week this track was not going to be one of his favorites. It's 10th fastest on lap number 1 for the driver of the 10B. Was a 15.04 on lap number 1. He'll come across here. Lap number 2 going to go into the books. Will it be any faster for Dan Butler? Just a tenth slower on lap number 2. Last week's winner, driving the Epic Media, number 17. SK Modified. This is AJ Rogers. He is your defending race winner here on a Thursday night. So we'll see if he's able to go back-to-back here this week. AJ Rogers is going to come out of turn number 4. Going to be lap number 1 coming into the books here. AJ Rogers goes to 6th quickest. It is a 14.85 for AJ Rogers on lap number 1. We'll see if he can do a little bit better here on lap number 2 as he'll come out of turn number 4 this time. On the sideways action, he'll shut it down, so it will not be any faster for AJ Rogers. Max Terriel, though, the Canadian representative, he is on the speed charts now, officially has a second fastest time because lap number 1 will be the fastest for the 42 of Max Terriel. AJ Rogers, though, was the first lap for him, was the fastest. The number 15 of Alex Schlatt's is out here. He goes 14th quickest onto our speed charts currently. And right now, that is all the drivers out onto the raceway with just about 2 minutes left here before we head into the race tonight. Another driver coming out here onto the raceway. He drives the number 3. It was unsponsored all last season. One of the quiet guys that will always find his way to the front. It is the number 3 of Chris Fritz. Fritz came on board here with the SK Modified division just about halfway through last season. And ever since, he has not missed a race. He has been Mr. Ironman since then. He'll now be officially onto the clock here tonight. Another driver out on track is the 45 of Tim Williams. As we see the 3 there of Fritz, though, he is very slow. I don't want to say slow in a bad meaning. It's just looks very slow and steady, nice and smooth through 3 and 4. He'll jump to the 7th quickest time. It is a 14.83 second lap on lap number 1. Tim Williams will be out here in that 45 machine. He goes with a 14.9 on lap number 1. That was good enough for the 10th quickest time. So right now, all 17 out of the 18 drivers have a lap time in. Let's see if Williams can go faster. He goes a little bit slower. Fritz goes faster, but it's not good enough to move himself up any positions here onto the timing and scoring board. Only one driver not getting a lap right now turned in. Still has about 20 seconds. I don't think it's going to be enough time to put a lap time down. So Brian Hacker right now will be on your provisional pole setter. So it'll be Brian Hacker and Max Terriel possibly on the front row here tonight for your Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series presented by Red Light Racing right here from the Oxford Plains Speedway. 100 laps of the distance coming at you in just a couple of moments because qualifying, race fans, is over. That means we're getting ready to go nose to nose, bumper to bumper, side to side, short track racing action here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And while these guys take to the grid here for the first time tonight, let's take you through your Checkered Flag Auto Supply starting lineup. Starting on the front row, it's the driver of the number 11. He has a win this season. He goes by the name of Brian Hacker. To the outside of row number 1, driving the 42 out of Canada, it is going to be Max Terriel. Row number 2, starting in the 3rd position, it's his best qualifying effort of the year. It is going to be the 96 of Al Smith Jr. Dalton Williamson, the Glove Box Motorsports number 1 entry. He'll start 4th on the grid. Josh Slatz has himself a great starting spot. He'll start 5th. It's the 97 there. That is going to be Don Coneman here tonight. He'll start 6th. Chris Fritz, we talked about him. Nice, smooth, and consistent. He'll start 7th on the grid. AJ Rogers, last week's winner in the 17 machine. He'll roll off 8th position tonight. TJ McGuire, the 83. He'll start 9th, and rounding out the top 10, our other Canadian in the field, the 45, that is Tim Williams. Josh Buckley, the Need for Speed Motorsports entry, the number 2, he'll roll off 11th. And then it's the Higgins Hill Racing, number 40, that's Rob Higgins. Starting in position number 13, out of New York, it's the 37, that's Brian Robinson. And the driver of the racing school, the 10B, that is Dan Butler. Starting 15th on the grid, driver of the 43. He goes by the name of Joe Strano. He'll start 15th on the grid. Alex Slatz in the 15. He'll start 16th out of Florida. 17th here tonight, the driver from the Coast Almost Coast race team, number 5, that is Daryl Clauder. 18th on the grid and starting shotgun to the field tonight, the number 6, that is Kurt Smith. That is your 18-car starting lineup here at the Oxford Plains Speedway. 2 laps to get heat in the tires, heat in the motor, and we will take the green flag here for 100 laps. So we hope you all are ready to go short track racing action here from this wicked track. No outside wall in the corners. There is a curb down on the bottom here in the bottom groove that these boys are going to have to watch out for. And, well, it's about time that we go racing here with the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series presented by Red Light Racing. iRacing Pace Truck is down on the way, and we are racing for the first time here tonight. 100 laps going to be the distance for these bad boys. They sail them down into turn number 1. Brian Hacker still holding the top spot down on the inside. Max Terriel, though, is not willing to just give him the top spot here tonight. They will work off turn number 4 for the first time. It will be the driver of the 11 out of Illinois. Brian Hacker will lead lap number 1. Here comes Al Smith Jr. down to the bottom. Max Terriel looked like he slipped a little bit that time coming out of turn number 2. A lot of drivers said it's going to be a bottom-feeding track here tonight at the Oxford Plains Speedway. And here comes Williamson down to the bottom trying to bring the Glove Box Motorsports entry down around the 42. The 42 of Terriot, though, going backwards right now because here comes the 20 of Josh Slatz. He'll take over now the 4th position. And, well, it may be a freight train coming for the 42 of Max Terriot. Chris Fritz actually slipped a little bit. That might give the 42 just a little bit of a breathing room that he's going to need to slide back down to the bottom. Max going to elect to stay to the outside. Already going to be 4 laps into the books here tonight at the Oxford Plains Speedway. 42, you're still watching the 42 there of Max Terriot. Hook the outside lane a little sideways that time. Not going to help the tires at all for the 42. It is follow the leader right now around the front here. It's still Brian Hacker, Al Smith, and Williamson leading the front 3 positions. Then it's Slatz and Fritz there. Now here comes Coleman. He'll be the next one to try and freight train the 42 down to the bottom. Here comes the swagger in Phoenix 97 of Don Coleman. Coleman still working to the inside. Everybody else, if you look through the field, has single-filed themselves out all the way back here to Darrell Clauter, who is right now running the brand new neon green and black Florida colors. Alex Slatz just in front of him, then Joe Strano, but it's still Max Terriot hung to the outside. There you see Coleman did get around him. That was for the 6th position. Here comes A.J. Rogers. He'll work the inside of the number 17 machine. He'll take away the 7th position from Max Terriot. So Terriot started on the outside pole, has already lost 7 spots because here comes T.J. McGuire in that Hoosier 83 machine. Just like that, 9 laps knocked off the 100 laps here tonight at the Oxford Plains Speedway. Now Max Terriot will find a hole to get down to the bottom. He'll go from 2nd all the way back to the 9th position. Out front here, though, ripping up the pace, it is the number 11 of Brian Hacker. You see them all nose to tail down into turn 1. Al Smith Jr. there into the 2nd position. Dalton Williamson right there running in the 3rd spot. Just nose to tail. He had to check up just a little bit in that glove box. Motorsports number 1. Because Al Smith backed up corner number 1 last time by. Let's see, Al Smith down. He touches the little bit of the curbing that's down there on the bottom lane here at the Oxford Speedway. See him trying to run a little bit of a defensive line right there. The Chevrolet bumper bars almost attached. A little sideways for Al Smith out of turn number 4. No contact. That was just Smith trying to put the power down here tonight on the bottom groove. Rubber has not been laid down here enough during the race conditions to have a lot of grip on the bottom groove coming out of the corner. There you go again. You see a little bit of wiggle. That time it's out of the number 1, though, of Williamson. Somebody's jacked up side by side there for just a moment. It was the 3 of Chris Fritz. He was thinking about driving to the outside on Josh Slatz, was not able to, so he falls back into the line, and they will continue to run single file around this short little bull ring track here. Everybody back here, you see Brian Robinson, then it's Dan Butler. That is the 13th and 14th position. Kurt Smith, the only driver that did not turn a qualifying lap here tonight. He is running 15th in the PPG number 6 Mobile 1 entry. He is running 15th on the board. He is up 3 spots. Losing a spot was Joe Strano, Alex Slatz, and Darrell Clauter. Back to the race lead. Here you see Brian Hacker still holding down the top spot with that Austin Designs Smith Racing Inc. entry. Al Smith just nowhere to go. A little bobble on entry there for Smith, and checked Williamson up, but no contact between either of those 3 drivers. Everybody minding their own P's and Q's. They know it's a 100-lap dash to the win here tonight. You gotta be there at the end. That's the main concern for all these drivers. Taking a look through the field to see who's your biggest mover so far all the race. That is Kurt Smith. He's all the way back there to the 14th spot. It looks like Darrell Clauter having some issues. The 15 of Alex Slatz also going around here. No caution flag just yet on the speedway. Here comes the race leaders. They're going to have to bob and weave around the car. Look, there's Fritz. He goes to the outside. They were 3 wide contact with the 15. A.J. Rogers going to go around. Caution flag now will come out here on lap number 19 for the first time. A lap car tangles with some of your leaders here. Nowhere to go for A.J. Rogers. He brings out the first caution flag of the night when him and Alex Slatz made a little bit of contact down there. We'll see here in just a second when our truck says we have it queued up here. It looks like Josh Buckley maybe had to hit pit road there for just a second to try and avoid the contact there with A.J. Rogers. Let's take it back here. Let's see. There you see there was the contact when Fritz went to the outside, then more contact. Let's see if we can back this up just far enough. There you already see the contact being made with Alex Slatz to the number 17 there of A.J. Rogers. A.J. Rogers down on pit road now. See if we can find a little bit of a different angle here. There you see it, just wrong place, wrong time for the 17 as they were pushed 3 wide through 3 and 4. A.J. Rogers up over the berm. He's into the dirt up there in turns 3 and 4. So that'll work our first caution flag here of the evening in your Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series, coming out just about a quarter of the way into this one. First caution flag here tonight is brought to us by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply, a friendly little, well, family-owned and operated business up there, priding themselves on being an independent auto store with friendly and knowledgeable staff and employees, reliable auto parts to get you all the right places, all the right things you need done. If you're up there in the Air, Massachusetts area, make sure you stop by at 103 Park Street, or even give them a ring, 978-772-2315. That is if you need any of those auto parts, whether it's for your race car or your personal car to get you back and forth to work. They have what you need to go racing or just to work. iRacing pace truck lights just like that going to go out here. That means we're going to go back to the green flag racing in just a couple of moments here. It'll be 23 laps officially knocked down into the books before we go back to the green flag racing. Right now, all drivers are back out onto the raceway, and it looks like A.J. Rogers was able to stay on the lead lap also, so he'll just have to start rear of the field here. Alex Schlatz is still 1 lap down. iRacing pace truck off the racing surface, and we are back to racing here at Oxford. As they go side by side, this time Al Smith is going to be the man to the outside. What can Dalton Williamson do here with Al Smith stuck to the outside? We know that Glove Box Motorsports #1 is a quick #1 here tonight. He'll work to the inside. It will be Brian Hacker, though, leading back across the start-finish line here tonight. Al Smith now going to do the dance to the outside. He's going to try and pinch Williamson down. Not going to be enough, though, to get himself down there or back around the #1. Smith is going to be the odd man out. Here comes Don Coneman in the Swagger N97 machine. He has worked his way up into the top 5, and now he is trying to find a spot into the top 3. Al has a opening right now as he looks like he's going to just lose 1 spot. So that's the best we have seen somebody battle onto the outside. He's only going to lose 1 spot. He'll drop to the 3rd position. Here's Chris Fritz, though, in the #3 white machine to the outside groove. Looks like he has dropped a couple positions. Now he is back into the 8th spot. He was up there at one point into position #6. Side-by-side battle for the #40 here. That is Higgins. He is trying to hold on to that outside groove. It's just someplace that a lot of drivers just don't want to be. The Checkered Flag Auto Supply #40 sponsored entry here tonight at Oxford. Stuck to the outside, Kurt Smith, the driver, remember, who did not turn any practice laps, did not get a qualifying time in here tonight. He has now moved up 7 positions from shotgun to the field. There is A.J. Rogers. He has hooked the bottom of the Epic Media #17. He is trying to come back through the field. He has rallied back now here into the 12th positions as he got around the #40 of Higgins there. Higgins going to fall back to the 13th spot. Shrano right there in the Green Forestry Supply entry Plan B Sales.com machine. He is back to 15th where he started, but he runs side by side with the 10B of Dan Butler. Strano going to go swing it way wide out of the corner there. Going to lose the spot to Butler. Now here comes Brian Robinson down to the inside. Darrell Clauder is also right there. That's the battle for the 15th, 16th, 17th position. Alex Schlatz just a little bit behind them. He is 1 lap down currently to the rest of the field. Out front, it is still all Brian Hacker leading the way here tonight as we go on board here with our Checkered Flag onboard camera mounted to the rear here of the Brian Hacker machine. Looking back, checking out the rest of the field as they all run single file. Look at everybody. It is a very small little bull ring here tonight, and everybody's got to be on their toes not to run into the next machine that is in front of them. You see the Nerf bars. Yeah, they have Nerf bars on the front and on the back, but you don't want to have to use them this early, because if you use them this early, somebody might remember. You will see those Nerf bars, though, come in handy a little bit later on into the race here tonight. We do have lights here at Oxford, so we won't have the little miscue that we had last week at the North Wilkesboro Speedway when we raced into the nighttime. It was literally dark, and we raced by the pace truck lights to finish that one out. We won't have that problem here tonight. Check up on last week's winner, A.J. Rogers. Where is he currently running out there on the raceway? Well, there he is. He is now currently into the 11th position. Remember, he was up, though, inside the top 6 when he went around with the lap down contact. Now has worked his way back up to the 11th spot, but still not to where he would like to be. So it'll be a long night for A.J. Rogers to see where he can wind up. Remember Max Terriot? Remember him getting stuck to the outside groove? Well, he has worked his way now back to the 7th position. He found a home running at 9th. He's gained 2 positions since that restart, but still down a couple spots here tonight. Taking a look at right now, it looks like the Swagger at 97. A Coleman is starting to struggle here on this little bit of a short run. Oh, big move. TJ McGuire going to go to swing it wide. Max Terriot on the 42. Couldn't tell which black machine that was there, if that was the 20 of Slats or Terriot. Terriot will work back down to the bottom groove. He will now take over another position that'll put him up to P number 6 currently here as we still race around the raceway. It looks like one driver almost swung it down on the pit road. A little bit of sideways action for the 45 of Tim Williams. Still trying to get that 45 back up and running. He is one of 2 Canadian drivers here into the field tonight. He is now running back into that 17th spot after losing 7 spots here after he just threw that 45 sideways and then tried to Dukes of Hazzard it the next corner. At the front, though, it's still the number 11 Illinois of Brian Hacker and the number 1 of Dalton Williamson. And then Al Smith is still sitting there running in the 3rd position right now. Approaching the halfway point here tonight. Just another 8 laps till we hit the halfway home tonight here for the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series. There's been only 1 caution flag, but look at the battle for the race lead. Look how close this Glove Box Motorsports driver can get to the Austin Designs number 11. Special camera angle here tonight provided by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. Providing us with some awesome onboard camera shots with these racers. 44 laps in the books, and this is the close, hard-nosed racing that you're expecting to see here the rest of the way. Look at it, even a roof camera to show you where that bumper bar is on this modified. A little bit of curb action there for those drivers, and they're able to pull away a little bit now from Al Smith. They opened up about a car length over Smith, about 2 car lengths over Codeman, and now it looks like Slats is the one that maybe had a little bit of an issue where Codeman decided to hit the go baby go button, and he has started to pull away. You can see the distance as we zoom out here on our camera. Not on the top of the press box here. See, the 42 of Max Terriot is also right there closing in on the number 20 of Slats. Slats makes a little bit of a mistake that time down into turn number 1. 42 there of Terriot, though, not able to capitalize just yet on that mistake. Maybe he's just waiting, laying in the weeds. Nobody else is side by side right now as we complete lap 48, 2 laps away from the halfway point here tonight. Well, race fans, as we close in on halfway, next time by, it has been all Brian Hacker from the start of this one to where we are now here on lap number 50. Williamson is up 2 positions, running the glove box number 1 Chevrolet. He is sitting there in position number 2. South Glen Falls, New York native of Al Smith Jr. He is running their 3rd. All right there, kind of a little bit of a 3-car breakaway here tonight at the halfway point. Coleman is running 4th. Then running in the 5th spot is Slats. Oh, contact there. Slats going to go around to the inside. I don't think the caution flag has come out just yet. We'll wait to see if it does. Slats is down there on the apron. He'll get the number 20 turned back around. See all the dirt on the tires of that number 20. He'll get back out there and just right in front of the race leaders. So Slats will stay on the lead lap for the time being. No caution flag from the iRacing.com officials being thrown here as he was able to get it kind of wound back up. He's right behind the number 15. That is Alex Slats. So 2 of the Slats right now running 17th and 18th. And Alex is 1 lap down trying to stay ahead of the race leaders. He is in that lucky dog position. Josh would not like to go a lap down because then that would put him into that lucky dog position. 1 lap down. He does not want to be there when the race leaders get there. They are closing in, though, pretty fast as here comes Brian Hacker out of turn number 4. Across the start-finish line, 1 car length separates them. It looks like the 15 of Alex Slats going to go to the outside lane, going to allow everybody to go right around him on the bottom groove. See if Josh Slats can pull away from the race leaders or if he's going to be stuck there. As now that's going to put Josh Slats trying to run away from the race leaders. He is not going to be able to. He pulls to the high side in turns 1 and 2. He'll let the race leaders get right on by him. It's the gentleman's move. But, oh, look at this big move here. Here comes Al Smith to the inside. Not going to be able to do it. There for a moment, it looked like Williamson left the inside door open like he almost fell asleep. Got comfortable down there. But he falls back into line there. They still run 1, 2, and 3. Hacker, Williamson, and Smith on the raceway. Coleman still running in that 4th position. TJ McGuire up to 5th. Now that puts Terrill in 6th. Fritz is back there in 7th. AJ Rogers in 8th. Josh Buckley has moved up to the 9th position with the drafttop.com checkered flag auto supply entry. He runs in the 9th spot. Then Kurt Smith, the biggest mover and shaker of the night, closing in on just 40 laps to go here in the main event. AJ Rogers rebounding to the 8th position where he started. That's also a good sign for him, as he had a share of the championship hunt. There was only 1 point separating him and Brian Hacker coming into tonight. That is counting a drop week, as we are already 2 weeks into the season. This is round number 3. Check back up front. Dalton Williamson going to hit the curb just a little bit to try and turn that number 1 machine. He had a great run actually coming through the center there, almost right onto the back there of Brian Hacker. Looks like Williamson tries to enter a little bit lower than Brian Hacker, and Hacker, though, tries to drive off the corner. Both of them are pretty evenly matched here, as Al Smith is just kind of taking notes from these 2 drivers. He is a 96 on his machine. Hacker has a 1-1, and Dalton Williamson has a 1. So, well, the 1s are wild here tonight in front of Al Smith. He's kind of the odd man out right now in the 96 machine. Williamson kind of showed Hacker that he was going to go down to the bottom groove there, and, well, Hacker blocked that time going down the back straightaway. How much more can Brian Hacker hold off Dalton Williamson? Will he be able to win his 2nd race of the season? The driver that says he's not very good in the modifieds, well, he has shown us so far this season that he has a lot of speed in this Smith Racing entry. A lot of practice going on during the week to make yourself this fast, especially with Dalton Williamson, probably one of the fastest guys on the iRacing service, as he practices a lot with the glove box team, the BK Paint Racing entry. 35 laps to go here tonight in your Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series. Doesn't look like any side-by-side action real close right now. This is the 2 closest drivers on the speedway. Hacker out front, Williamson just tailing him, with Smith just behind him, just by about 0.3 of a second. Just trying to take a peek. Where is Higgins? We know he's a fan favorite out there. Everybody tuning in to watch Higgins. Right now he is running into that 11th position, 1 spot up. Right ahead of Dan Butler. Josh Slatz out there still on the raceway. He is currently in the 17th spot, 1 lap down, and he is just kind of at this point trying to ride it out, trying to see if he can get a caution flag here. With just 30 laps to go, he'll dive back down in front of AJ Rogers. AJ is running the Epic Media machine into that 8th position currently. Now it looks like Rogers will get around the Josh Slatz machine. Josh just out there kind of logging laps at this point. As here's Brian Hacker, he slips up, and here comes Dalton Williamson down to the inside. They're going to run Nerf bar to Nerf bar through turns 4. Across the start finish line, Dalton Williamson will lead his first lap. First lead change here of the evening. Can Al Smith Jr. get there with his 96? He's not going to. A little pressure, little tap to the back bumper on Brian Hacker. Dalton Williamson, though, comes back across the line. He'll lead lap 72 as we are on 73. A little bit of a wiggle that time. Al Smith going to actually fall out of his groove. Going to lose some precious space back there to Brian Hacker, almost falling back into the clutches here of Don Coleman and TJ McGuire, who are hot on the heels, and they are coming. That Swagger in and that Hoosier Tire entry here tonight, running 4th and 5th. So now that Dalton Williamson has got out front, watch for him to turn some practice qualifying laps here with just 26 laps to go. That time by at the line. Brian Hacker, though, does stay right there to keep applying a little bit of that pressure. Doesn't want this glove box motorsports entry, BK Paints, to go away and hide too easily here. See the distance off the back here of Dalton Williamson. They are going to run into lap traffic before things are done here tonight. 24 laps to go, and now you see Hacker trying to search around for a little bit of grip, see if there's a faster line out there tonight. That time by at the line, Brian Hacker was actually about 0.2 of a second slower than your race leader. Fastest car on track was your race leader of Dalton Williamson. He is now officially your race leader, and I don't think at this point the guy out of Florida is going to sweat too much. It's going to be hard to rattle his cage. One of the tough-nosed racers out there, used to short-track racing at its finest. He has got the race lead, and with 21 to go this time by at the race line, we'll see if Hacker can rattle the cage. And, well, if he rattles that cage, does Al Smith Jr. pounce, who's just laying back there in the old shed, the VIP Graphic Smith Racing Inc. entry tonight. Tim Williams, is the final driver currently on our lead lap. He is running into the 16th position as he goes around the number 15 of Alex Slats there. Slats looks like 2 laps down currently. There you see your race leaders, though, only separated Alex Slats and Dalton Williamson from the rear here of the field as we go on board here with Tim Williams. 18 laps to go, and they are going to go quick here tonight. There's the battle for the race lead. Once again, all 3 drivers being able to start to close that gap. Kind of coming together a little closer here in the closing laps. There'll be 16 to go. It's still Williamson and Hacker out front. Question being, if you're Brian Hacker now, you're running in second. You led most of the laps. You led the most laps led so far here tonight. You're seeing now where Dalton Williamson is running his machine as you're closing in on lap traffic. When do you pounce? Do you pounce in lap traffic and try to run away and hide? Or do you wait till the closing laps are coming down, and do you use the old chrome horn here tonight? Use that old bumper bar that we talked about. Williamson going to catch the 15 of Slats there, just coming out of turn number 4, but it doesn't look like it affected him that time, so he'll be clear of the slower traffic here. Now, where's the next driver, though, on the chopping block? There it is. There's the tail of the field. There you see the 45 of Williams down into the corner. There you see your race leader of Dalton Williamson. You see it calling about, 10 car lengths separating them, about half the straightaway here. It's not a very long straightaway at Oxford. And then you see the distance back to running in your 4th position. There's Coneman. There's the Hoosier machine of TJ McGuire. They were able to get around the lap down car of Alex Slats for the time. Race leaders coming across the line here. Now getting the 11 to go marker. Under 5 miles of racing left here tonight. So your race leaders will wind up in lap traffic before this is all said and done. Riding on board with your race leader right now, Dalton Williamson. There you see the 45. That is Tim Williams out front. Darrell Clauter, Joe Strano. They are all there running nose to tail. They will be in the way of your race leaders here as they're going to come get 8 to go. With about 6 laps to go, that lap traffic is going to play a factor into things to finish this one out. Hacker still hanging on the back Nerf bar. Al Smith still sitting there on the Nerf bar. About a half a car lengths maybe between Smith and Hacker. Williamson will start to approach that lap traffic. Tim Williamson is starting to put the pressure, though, to Darrell Clauter. Clauter, not one of those short track drivers that are usually in the modifieds. Now they will go side by side right in front of your race leaders. This is the battle for the 14th. Or 15th and 16th position. Clauter just going to back out of it. He is going to allow the race leaders to go right on by him. He knows he wants nothing to do with that. Same with the 45 of Williams. He goes straight to the top side, and he gets out of the way. Gentleman moves there by both of those drivers. Now your race leader has a little bit of a, call it a distance between him and the next car. That'll be the Green Forest Tree Supplies. We're going to get 5 laps to go for Dalton Williamson. Williamson and Hacker now separate themselves from Al Smith with just 5 laps to go. It looks like Joe Strano will be a factor car involved in this one, and then he's got a gaggle of cars in front of Williamson because they are side by side. 4 laps to go here. 4 laps to go and a 2-car breakaway to decide who's going to be the winner of round number 3 here tonight. Will it be Hacker? Will it be Williamson? 3 laps to go, just like that in the blink of an eye, and he has not caught that lap car there of the 43 of Strano. Strano would like to say on the lead lap. He has completed every lap so far this year. 2 laps to go as the popsicle stick fly here tonight at Oxford. 2 laps to go, and it looks like Joe Strano blows the corner, so he'll move to the outside. He knows the race leaders are coming. Here comes Williamson. He'll go down to the inside on turn number 3, this time by to be the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. White flag, 1 lap to go here at Oxford. 1 lap to go here for round number 3. Who will win it? Will it be the Glove Box Motorsports number 1 of Dalton Williamson? Hacker going to sail it off there a little bit hard. Little bump, little pressure to the number 1. Sideways for Hacker. Dalton Williamson will win round number 3 here tonight. Dalton Williamson coming home as the race winner. Brian Hacker hot on the heels. He'll finish 2nd. Al Smith Jr., another podium finish for him. He'll finish 3rd. Coleman 4th. And then TJ McGuire will round out the top 3 finishing drivers here tonight. Wow, what a race that was here, race fans. If you don't like short track racing, well, I don't know what you do like, because that was one heck of a battle here between your top 3 drivers all night long. The top 3 finishers, Williamson, Hacker, and Smith. Dalton Williamson going to go down there. He's going to celebrate a little bit. And while he celebrates, we're going to step away, and we'll be back here with your Checkered Flag Auto Supply post-race show. Welcome back here, race fans, for your Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series presented by Red Light Racing. We've officially run 100 laps with just 1 caution flag here tonight, and that flew in, I believe that was lap number 21 tonight. The rest of the racing tonight, though, hot and heavy. Short track racing action here from the Bull Ring at Oxford. And, well, I'm sitting here in Victory Lane. You see his car out there on screen. It's Dalton Williamson. Dalton, you know, finally able to bring the Glove Box Racing team here into Victory Lane. That's got to feel good with it only being week number 3.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. It was definitely stressful with Al and Brian back there, though, man. They gave me a run for their money. It was definitely a tough time.
Yeah, you were back there behind Brian Hacker for a lot of laps. You were able to stalk him, see the line that he was racing. Did you learn anything running behind Brian Hacker for a majority of this race before you made your big move?
Yes, sir. I rolled in a lot easier than he was, like, in the middle of the run. Started figuring out that if you kept it on the bottom a little longer, you get a bigger run out of the corner down the backstretch, and felt like I was using a little more of the backstretch. That's about it.
And you were able to weasel your way around him then, you know, no pun intended. But then when he was behind you, though, you know, he kept applying the pressure. Did you think, you know, especially there in that last corner, that he was going to use the old Nerf bar there? Oh,
yeah. You know, just good hard racing, man. It was fun. I know he was coming back up to me there at the end.
Yeah, so far this season at Lanier, you had a 3rd. At North Wilkesboro, you had a 3rd. Now finally in Victory Lane. It's got to feel pretty good. But how do you feel overall headed into the next round? Round 4, we're going to head to a track that not a lot of drivers like. Concord.
Like I said last week, man, the week before that, I'm looking forward to it. I seem to love that track, so I'm going to see if I can get it done again.
Well, you love it. We're going to let you go practice it. We'll roll the red carpet out as we always do for all of our winners here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. We're going to hand you the microphone. Who do you got to thank for parking the Glove Box Racing entry here tonight in Victory Lane?
First and foremost, you for broadcasting like normal. Joshua, all the admin, so our sponsors, Glovebox Motorsports, Don, Codeman, Tim Williams. Another shout out, my mom, dad, my brother, my buddy Kyle, Al Lawrence. Mom's going through a tough time right now, so it was definitely cool to get it in Victory Lane like she was watching.
Well, there you hear it from your winner out of Florida, Dalton Williamson, the driver of the Glove Box Racing team. He brings it home P1 after a string of third-place finishes. Here in round number 3, he'll finally park that number 1 in Victory Lane. Tonight, though, sitting in second place just off to the left here, it is the driver of the number 11 Illinois, the Smith Racing Inc. entry, Brian. You know, it's not a win, but you got to look at it at the end of the night. Points racing towards the end of the season, this might be the second-place finish that you will need to seal the deal.
Yeah, it's a good points night overall. I think we used it up a little bit too much at the beginning of the race, and Dalton's fast everywhere we go, so I knew he was going to be a challenge. I was hoping that Al would stay behind me there for most of the race. We kind of had a little bit of a plan of how we were going to attack this race, and it just didn't quite work out. Dalton had to go in and ruin it for us, but he ran a great race. He's always tough to beat, so kudos to him. Congrats on the win.
Yeah, you finished first in the season opener at Lanier, then a 4th place at North Wilkesboro, and now a 2nd place to kind of keep the string going. Are we going to go for a 3rd next week at Concord, or do you think maybe we're going to park her back in Victory Lane?
Well, I'd sure like to park it back in Victory Lane, but Concord, as you just mentioned, is a lot of people hate it, and I'm one of those people that hates it. So I will be happy with a solid finish next week. It's not one that I'm going to show up expecting to put it in Victory Lane.
Well, a strong finish here for you, but do you think you had anything for that number 1 left in the tank? We know you used the chrome horn. Was it just a little bit too late?
I think so. I was trying to lay back a little bit until the last 5 laps and really try to apply the pressure. I saw there's a gaggle of lap cars up there, and I was hoping that we'd catch him at the right time, and I might be able to get under him or move him up a lane. But he was strong. He stayed just far enough in front of me that I really couldn't do anything with him. So he ran a good race, and that's all we can do. I mean, we gave it our best.
Well, you tried your hardest. You come up 1 spot short here tonight, Brian. Who made it all possible for this number 11 tonight here at Oxford?
Well, this league, first off, first time I've run with these guys this season, and it's a blast. It's a really good group of guys. It's really well run. So Josh for putting this thing on, you for coming on board and broadcasting, and then the guys on the car, the Carbon Junction Gang and Narrative Coffee, the Old Shed, and Brandon Massey's been a big supporter of Smith Racing Inc. And good to see 2 of us here, both of us on the podium tonight. So overall it's a good night. So Al had a good run, and obviously congrats again to Dalton on the win.
There you heard it from your 2nd place finisher, the number 11 of Brian Hacker, going to come home 1 spot short. He did lead the most laps here tonight, but it's going to be a 2nd place finish for Brian Hacker. 3rd here tonight, I don't think we really need to interview 3rd, so we're just going to skip over the driver of the 96. Congratulations to Al Smith, blah, blah, blah. All right, I'm just kidding. Al, a 3rd place finish. I don't know if we really want to do this interview. I heard you on Monday night in my ear all night. Now, how did you come home 3rd?
I don't know, honestly, Roger, but Oxford's probably one of those tracks where people hate it, and it's probably one of my favorite tracks. So come in here with a good mindset, and I think I qualified 3rd and finished 3rd here tonight. So I can't really complain. I was trying to get underneath the Hacker there at one point, and then Dalton got underneath them, and that curb jumps up and bites you here.
Yeah, we saw a lot of guys, especially Williamson. He was down there. He used that curb a couple times to actually get the modified turn. Did you see him do that? Did you learn anything from him as you tailed him for most of the night?
You had to hit it perfect. If you hit the wheel too much or the sidewall, it really shot your car sideways or up the racetrack. So it was playing Russian roulette. You had to hit it just perfect, and Dalton was able to do that. And I really started working like the middle groove there with about 15 to go, and I was able to reel them back in, and thought maybe when we got the lap traffic I'd be able to at least apply a little bit of pressure to the backside of that Austin Designs number 11 in front of me, but just wasn't meant to be, and we come home with a third place finish.
Well, now you heard your other competitors here as we waited to interview you last for a reason. Concord next week. It's not a typical track that a lot of drivers run. It's not a typical track that a lot of drivers practice at, and not a lot of drivers even really like, well, unless you're Dalton Williamson, like going to. What are your thoughts heading forward here to the next round?
I think next week is going to be, I think is going to tell the tale of the season, honestly. I think if we can get around that, it's a miniature Pocono-esque like track triangle. It's really weird to drive. I think I've only ran or raced there maybe a handful of times, if that. So not a lot of laps there, but we'll get this 96 tuned up for next week and hopefully be able to survive it and come out of there with a decent finish. And we'll move on from there. But yeah, Concord, I can't say that I'm not looking forward to it, but I can't say that I am either.
Well, if the racing continues the way it is, I think everybody's looking forward to racing again next Thursday. Why don't we just line them up back here in about 20 minutes and let's just go at round number 4.
I'm all right with that. We're going to stay here at Oxford, or are we traveling?
Oh, no, we're going to hop on that virtual jet and go to Concord. We're just going to get things done right now.
All right, I'm all right with that. Get Buckley on board.
Well, good luck with that one. But hey, Al, another strong finish here tonight in the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Division. Who do you got to thank? Who makes it all possible for you to wind up here on the podium to talk to me?
Well, first of all, I got to thank Brandon Massey over there at the old shed and VIP Graphics for giving us a good-looking ride and sponsoring us. That Ford Performance Racing engine underneath the hood of this Troyer race car. I got to thank Narrative Coffee and Carbon Junction that's part of SRI. I got to especially shout out to Checkered Flag Auto Supply for sponsoring the series, and Josh that puts this on. They welcomed us in, and not too bad for a rookie here to finish in the podium the last 2 weeks. So pretty happy about that. Maybe at Concord we can get to that number 1 spot.
Well, there you heard it from the driver out of South Glen Falls, New York, Al Smith. Gonna bring the 96 Old Shed Machine VIP Graphics home in 3rd place on the podium. Congratulations to Al. Brian for finishing 2nd there in the number 11. And how about Williamson? Finally able to break through to victory lane. He is your winner here tonight at Oxford. Congratulations to the whole Glove Box Racing team as they finish on top of everybody here tonight. But that's gonna about wrap things up here from the Oxford Plains Speedway. But first, let's take a peek here at those race results here tonight, brought to us by the Checkered Flag Auto Supply. There you see your top 18 drivers. 18 drivers entered. It looks like only 13 drivers were able to corral the race leaders at the blistering pace they were setting to stay on the race lead lap. Williamson finished 1, Hacker was 2, Smith was 3. Then it was Don Coleman in the Swagger In machine. He had a good run. He sat there kind of in no man's land, running in that 4th spot. TJ McGuire finishing up in the 5th spot. Max Theriault rallied back for a 6th place finish. Chris Fritz silently just kind of sat there right around that 7th position all night long. AJ Rogers was able to rally back after his off-road excursion with that number 17. He'll finish 8th here tonight. Josh Buckley was 9th. And rounding out the top 10, the Higgins Hill Racing number 40 of Rob Higgins. He comes home in the 10th spot. Dan Butler was 11th. Brian Robinson was sitting there 12th. Kurt Smith was 13th with Joe Strano. He rallied hard there towards the end. He was able to pick up a couple positions and tried to stay in front of the race leaders, but it was a 14th place finish for Joe Strano. Tim Williams comes home in the 15th spot. Darrell Slaughter was 16th. Josh Slatz has a little bit of issues. He comes home running in the 17th spot. Alex Slatz also a couple issues throughout the night. He comes home running in the 18th spot. That is your Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series finishing order here tonight. Well, race fans, what do you say? It was a great one here tonight at Oxford, and I'm looking forward already to it. A lot of drivers, you heard Al mentioned it in his interview, that it's kind of like a Pocono, kind of, it has 3 quarters. It's odd. It doesn't really fit in. There was a lot of odd tracks throughout the years that we have seen, not only on the NASCAR circuit, but even the modifieds. Remember back at Nazareth? Yeah, Nazareth, Pennsylvania. That was a 3-corner track, and the modifieds ran there for a couple seasons. Well, I think it's kind of going to fit that old Nazareth vibe. We're going to see some very high speeds. A lot of momentum is going to be meant next week to be able to pull off a victory. Will it be one of these rookies? So far this season, it has been a rookies galore. It's been a rookies field day up at the top of these charts. Williamson, Hacker, Smith, all rookies. Coleman, McGuire, and then Theriault, the next 3 finishers, they are the wily veterans, but right now those young guns are showing the veterans what the new racing style is going to be here on a Thursday night. But That's going to do it here from Oxford. We'd like to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight to watch the Checkered Flag Auto Supply SK Modified Series presented by Red Light Racing. Yeah, the championship is over on Monday night, but the Red Light Racing is not over. Next Thursday night, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, we'll bring you all the action from the Concord Speedway. Don't miss Thursday night's short track racing.